In this video, we take a look at the best attack strategy post-update, particularly for Town Hall 10, although it can be used from Town Hall 7 and above. The lightning spells into dragons. You can pick apart the base incredibly well, so let's give you some examples, thoroughly explain this, so at the end of the video, you know how to get some 3 stars. Welcome back to the channel then, guys. I'm your host, Judo Sloth. Let's teach you everything you need to know about the lightning spells into dragons. Now, irrespective of where the air defense are, even if they are centralized within the base, you can still take them down with the lightning spells, because obviously it doesn't matter. You are zapping from above. Now, if you can take down multiple defenses, that is obviously a good thing. In this case, we actually got 2 of the air defense with a single set of lightning spells. Now, I will have on the screen right here, I put this in my video yesterday, an image that was created by a member of the community, and it's all about how many lightning spells you need at any specific town hall level to take down a maxed level air defense. I think it's really cool, and that's what I try to do on the channel, bring you guys educational but entertaining Clash of Clans videos. So if that's what you want to see, I'd recommend subscribing and turning on the notification bell. So let's move across to the next area of the base. 3 lightning spells to get the air defense very smartly used, but also we get that archer tower at the same time. Again, try your best to hit multiple of the defenses. Moving across to, yes guys, the 4th air defense in this base. We are able to use the lightning spells to not only get the air defense, but to get the archer tower as well. Now looking at the base, as we are zoomed out, there are no air defense. 0 of them. And at Town Hall 10, you often have multi-target infernos. So if that is the case, it means that dragons are incredibly good to finish off the base. If you have single target infernos, it doesn't matter too much, but I might consider switching to LavaLoon in that scenario. I do try and bring generic videos across a variety of Town Hall levels, but in this one we're focusing a bit more on Town Hall 10, and if you do want to see my playlists, I'd recommend going to the homepage. I have Town Hall 9, 10, 11, 12, you get the idea, all of the relevant videos for your Town Hall level. So let's look at the dragon portion then. Once the air defense are down, there is nothing to take the dragons down, particularly because there's no single target infernos. So one thing you might consider is sending a lava hound into the base, because the lava hound will be attracted to just any defense. The air defense are down, so the lava hound will go to any defense, it will tank for the dragons, and ultimately with no single target infernos, you get that good tanking throughout the base. The one thing you have to think about with dragons is that they attack anything. So they will just fan out through the base, and that's why in this example we had a couple of baby dragons to eliminate the left and the right to ensure the dragons did indeed go into the base itself. Now, this is very similar to what we have seen for years and years at Town Hall 7, Town Hall 8, in that you previously would zap Quake, that is an earthquake in relation to the lightning as well, the air defense, and dragon through the rest of the base. But now that the lightning spells are only 1 spell, it's most certainly the best, the easiest, everything at Town Hall 10 should be lightning spells and dragons. You don't have to worry about pathing too much as long as you get them into the base. The dragons have split here a little bit, but there's no threat. There's nothing to take them down. The air defense are gone. The dragons can freely move through the base. And just have a quick look at how many dragons are left over. I'm not even sure if Black Sun lost any dragons in this attack. Very straightforward, guys. That's why I wanted to bring it to you. I have another replay which is slightly different to break down for you after this one, but I wanted to make sure you were aware at Town Hall 10 how good this strategy is, and also that you can use this across a variety of levels. So I did a video on the lightning spell yesterday, not just in relation to the dragons, but in relation to a lot of different strategies, how to use the lightning to set it up, and I'll link you across to that video after this one. Let's show you a different scenario then. This one only has 6 of the lightning spells, and the reason for that is the air defense are a little bit easier to get to. They're on the perimeter of the base. So if you can use hasted loons, maybe your queen to get that, it's a good way of sniping off the air defense at lower level. Often we see hog riders or a little mini Lalo in order to get one, but with the lightning spells, make sure you're zapping the most difficult to get to air defense. So on this base, it's definitely the one right in the center. It's hard to path any kind of troop to this air defense relatively easily. It's right in the middle. 3 lightning spells to take down an air defense at Town Hall 10, but only 2 to take down a sweeper. So fortunately, there's one next to it. We put the lightning spell in the middle, we can get both of them down. However, if we start off with the Archer Queen, she's not in any danger across to this side of the map. She can sneak forward and get the air defense. While she's doing that, zapping the air defense at the very north. Try and mix the parts of your attack. Don't let the Queen do the entire thing and then move across to the lightning. Try and just mix things up. What that will do is make sure that, number 1, and most importantly, you don't time fail. However, it does mean that your troops can protect each other as well. Maybe your queen is tanking an archer tower. It means the dragons coming through have an easier time. So as the queen is getting across to that air defense relatively safe, that is 2 of them down. We then focus on the middle. Try not to miss, obviously. Get the 2 ones that you want, the air defense and the sweeper. But if you can get a little bit of damage onto the queen, it's always a benefit. Again, thinking about the dragons, if you're finishing off the base with dragons, you've got to remember they are not defense targeting, they target everything. So that's where the queen has done quite a nice job thinning out the base at the top here. We've also got the baby dragon thinning out the base across to the other side, which means the dragons can freely just move into the base, which is exactly what you want. You need the dragons in the base itself. So taking out the air defense is one thing, but thinning out the base for the dragons to get into it itself is another. And you want to try and do that right along the base, not just initially, because if we were to just do it initially, the dragons would come in, and there's every chance they would come back out. So that's where we've tried to thin it right of the way along as best as possible, so the dragons are into the defenses themselves. We only have 1 air defense, so the Lava Hound is able to tank in that area, no single target infernos to worry about. So again, once that first air defense goes down, it's relatively straightforward. One thing I haven't mentioned, which I probably should, is if you have, let's say, 1 air defense remaining, as we did in this one, make sure you start your dragons getting to that air defense as quickly as possible. You want it down ASAP. And with the dragons, put them in a line. That's where we deployed them right across this side, so they can move together in unison through the base, and they're almost funneling for each other. If you just dump them all in one spot, they'll probably start to thin all over the place, but they can actually move together through the base, and with your spells, use them where your dragons are at the biggest threat, the biggest danger. So use a rage spell to get them to and through the air defense, but after that you are fine. Likewise, to this area, the queen, the enemy queen was in that area, so the rage spell was used to get the dragons through. If you are going with mass dragons, you don't need heal spells, anything like that. You really want to finish off the composition once you've used the appropriate level of lightning with rages and freezes. Do consider poison spells depending on if you are going to be luring the clan castle troops, maybe if you know what's in there or not. But again, just check out this attack. This is why it's the best strategy at Town Hall 10. There is nothing to take out the dragons now. They can just freely move through the base. Many of you might have used this strategy at Town Hall 7 and 8. It kind of started to creep into Town Hall 9 a little bit, but certainly it will be there. But for Town Hall 10 now, it has skyrocketed after the update, and it is the best attack by far. It's relatively quick as well, because the lightning doesn't take a lot of time. You can just get into the base pretty easily, because dragons are something you can time fail with. However, in this case, it really shouldn't happen, because the dragons have 3 minutes to get through the base, and you shouldn't lose many of the dragons either. If you are a higher level than Town Hall 10, I did a video yesterday on the lightning spell. bit more generic, if you will, on how to use it, and I've linked that video here alongside the subscribe button, so I'd recommend checking that one out. Remember, if you are a Town Hall 10, you can check out my specific Town Hall 10 playlist on the homepage, but I will catch you guys in the next video. Until then, take care.